The Gripen E. Is it the game changer the Philippines desperately needs, or a fiscal black hole waiting to swallow the nation's budget? Billions of pesos hang in the balance, and the skies of the archipelago may depend on this single decision. Forget the headlines and the hype. We're tearing open the numbers to reveal what's really at stake. This isn't just about buying jets, it's about the future survival of Philippine air defense.
The camera opens on a dramatic shot, a lone Philippine Air Force jet soaring across a cloudy sky. Sleek, determined, but also isolated. And it makes you wonder, can the Philippines, with its current fleet, truly defend a maritime territory that stretches over 7,600 islands and some of the most contested waters in the world? The South China Sea, it's not just a map on paper. It's a high-stakes arena where every maneuver is being watched, every flight tracked, and every shadow on the radar could spark an international crisis. In recent years, Chinese vessels have pushed further into Philippine-claimed waters, and regional neighbors are ramping up their defense budgets at record speed. The question is, can Manila keep up?
Right now, the Philippine Air Force faces a dilemma. On paper, it has fighter jets, but in reality, its aging fleet is small, overstretched, and often grounded for maintenance. And when your skies are as vast and exposed as the Philippines, that's a dangerous weakness. Which is why the search for a solution has intensified. And one name keeps echoing in defense circles: Gripen E. A jet that promises advanced radar, powerful electronic warfare systems, and efficiency that even larger air forces envy. But here's the real suspense. Can this advanced fighter really fit into the Philippine context? Or is it a dream too expensive to chase?
So what makes the Gripen E stand out in a crowded world of fighter jets dominated by giants like the F-35, the Su-35, and the Rafale? The answer lies in three words: technology, versatility, and cost. First, it's radar. The Gripen E carries the Raven ES-05 ASA radar, a system capable of tracking multiple targets across vast distances with unmatched precision. It gives pilots a 360-degree awareness of the battlefield, an edge where seconds can mean survival. But radar is just the beginning. This aircraft also comes equipped with a cutting-edge electronic warfare suite. Think of it as an invisible shield, capable of jamming enemy systems, deceiving incoming missiles, and turning the jet itself into a ghost on hostile radar screens. Now here's where the Gripen truly flips the script. Unlike many advanced jets that demand astronomical maintenance budgets, the Gripen E is designed for low operating costs. We're talking a jet that can launch from short, rugged runways, be refueled and rearmed in 10 minutes, and be maintained by a small ground crew. For nations that can't afford billion-dollar hangars or endless spare parts, this matters. And the world is taking notice. Brazil has already chosen the Gripen E as its frontline fighter, betting on its affordability and power. Hungary, Sweden, and others are either flying it or actively considering upgrades to the E model. These aren't superpower militaries with unlimited budgets. They're nations facing the same question as the Philippines. How do you defend vast skies without breaking the bank? Let's compare. The current backbone of the Philippine Air Force is the FA-50 Golden Eagle, a light fighter trainer turned combat aircraft. Effective, yes, but limited. It lacks the reach, radar power, and advanced systems of the Gripen E. And if Manila were to look elsewhere, say at US F-16s, the upfront cost is higher, and so are the maintenance demands. That's where the Gripen looks tempting: advanced capabilities without the crippling bill that usually comes with them. But of course, nothing is that simple. Because while the Gripen E looks like a perfect fit on paper, the real question is whether the Philippines can actually afford to bring it into service and sustain it long term.
Now, let's pull back the curtain on the numbers, because no matter how advanced a jet looks on paper, it all comes down to the budget. And here's where things get complicated for the Philippines. Historically, the country has struggled with one of the smallest defense budgets in Southeast Asia. For decades, modernization was put on the back burner as funds went toward healthcare, infrastructure, and disaster response, Understandable, but costly in terms of military readiness. Only in the last 10 years have we seen a noticeable uptick, with billions of pesos finally funneled into upgrading the armed forces. For 2025, the Philippine defense budget is pegged at around 51.6 billion pesos. But here's the catch. Only a fraction of that actually goes to Air Force modernization. And when you compare this to regional players, the gap is alarming. Vietnam and Malaysia spend more aggressively on modernization relative to their size, while Singapore invests at levels that dwarf Manila's entire budget.
So what happens if the Philippines tries to bring in the Gripen E? The acquisition cost alone could run into the hundreds of millions of dollars, not to mention the long-term operating expenses. Every peso spent on jets is a peso not spent on typhoon recovery, on hospitals, or on building roads. It's a brutal balancing act, national security versus everyday survival. And unlike bigger economies, the Philippines doesn't have the luxury of unlimited funds. This is the tightrope Manila must walk. Invest in cutting-edge air defense and risk straining the economy, or hold back on modernization and risk leaving its skies vulnerable. And in the middle of that equation sits the Gripen E. Tempting, powerful, but undeniably expensive.
So let's imagine for a moment that the Philippines signs the deal. The Gripen E takes to the skies above Luzon, Palawan, and Mindanao. What would this mean for the nation's defense posture? First, integration. The Gripen E isn't just another jet. It's designed to plug seamlessly into modern defense architectures. With its advanced radar and electronic warfare systems, it would serve as the backbone of an upgraded air defense network, coordinating with ground-based radars and naval assets. For the Philippines, this means a step closer to a truly modern joint force military. Second, deterrence. In the contested waters of the South China Sea, perception matters as much as capability. Right now, Philippines' jets are often outclassed by more powerful neighbors. But the Gripen E changes that equation. With its range, advanced sensors, and air-to-air missile compatibility, it sends a clear message: this airspace is defended. Even a small fleet could raise the cost of aggression high enough to make rivals think twice. Third, maritime domain awareness. The Philippines isn't just defending land, it's defending one of the world's most complex maritime territories. The Gripen E, with its radar reach and data link systems, could extend the nation's surveillance umbrella over vast stretches of sea, detecting intrusions earlier, tracking threats longer, and feeding real-time data back to command centers. In an age where information dominance wins wars, this is a game changer. But let's not ignore the challenges. A jet like the Gripen demands modern infrastructure. Longer runways, hardened shelters, advanced maintenance facilities, and a pipeline of trained pilots and engineers. For an Air Force still catching up with modernization, this is a massive undertaking. It's not just about buying jets, it's about reshaping the entire ecosystem that keeps them flying. So the strategic fit is clear. The Gripen E could dramatically upgrade the Philippines' defensive posture. But every benefit comes with a price tag, not just in pesos, but in time, training, and transformation. But here's the truth. The Gripen E isn't just a question of technology or even budget. It's a question of politics. In the Philippines, every large-scale defense purchase sparks debate. Lawmakers, defense planners, and the public all weigh in. Some see it as a vital investment in sovereignty, others as an unaffordable luxury in a country where poverty, disasters, and healthcare demand constant attention. Getting approval for a fleet of advanced fighters won't be easy, and sustaining political will over the years is even harder. Then there's the matter of strategy. Even if the Gripen E is acquired, it can't operate in isolation. The Philippines would still need stronger ground-based radars, naval patrols, and anti-missile systems to maximize the jet's effectiveness. Some experts argue that investing in drones, coastal defenses, or cyber capabilities might deliver better bang for the buck, or at least provide the Gripen with the support it needs to truly shine.
So the road ahead is filled with both challenges and opportunities. On one side lies the promise of a modern air force, capable of defending the nation's skies and seas with pride. On the other lies the risk of stretching budgets thin, investing in assets the country can't fully sustain. And that leaves us with the final, unavoidable question. When the future of Philippine defense is decided, will history remember the Gripen E as the jet that changed everything, or the dream that never took flight?